Hi, I'm Dinesh the Spicy Gourmet. Welcome back as we continue demonstrating the use of this spices and herb blends from this new set that we've introduced, the spice and herb set. We've already covered the Jamaican jerk chicken. We'll prepare with that. And we're still to do the Italian blend, but for right now, we're going to use the classic curry powder to prepare some sauteed zucchini. And this is quite delicious. So the ingredients we're going to be using in this are obviously the zucchini. We're going to use some finely sliced garlic, some Thai red pepper, which is of course optional, as is the garlic, of course, some ginger and tomatoes, and some finely sliced onions. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is finely slice the garlic. Making sure that you keep your finger, your little pinky rather, away from the knife. Okay, that's that. So a technique I've come to know recently, actually not that recently, but maybe a couple of years ago, but I haven't actually used it in our recipe videos where I'm engaging with you, but which is essentially to suspend whatever oil you're using. In this instance, it's coconut oil. And now because of the relatively cold ambient temperature, it remains fairly solid. So what I'm going to do is place this in this pan. Next, I'm going to turn this on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the lowest flame possible. I've got the coconut oil in the pan, and I'm going to put the garlic in there and let it soak up the coconut oil. So this is really a process that can be called infusion of the oil with the garlic. You don't have to do this if you prefer to have the flavor of garlic not to be, from your perspective, overwhelming or too strong. You can just simply heat the oil up to a smoking point, throw in the onions, the ginger, and then followed by the garlic, because the garlic fries very quickly. But I like this because I like garlic. I like the flavor of garlic. So we're going to let that happen, and we'll take a look at it when it just starts to bubble. While that's going on, I'm going to slice some zucchini up. And the way you do that is not with a ladle, but with a knife. So you can angle this if you wish, but you know, the zucchini is pretty thick, so you don't need to increase the surface area, which is generally why you slice at an angle as with green beans. Besides, you want it to look attractive. So really about 1/8 of an inch or thicker. So I like to do it a little bit thicker, because then you're not having the whole thing cook through very quickly, too quickly. You still want it kind of al dente, not falling apart. Okay, so you can see that the garlic is being cooked gently, but it's not being fried. So at this point, it's becoming kind of translucent. So what I'd like to do next is actually to add some of the sliced onions. And once you do this, you can increase the heat. Here we are. That's that, and at the same time add the ginger, because they kind of cook to the same level during the same time. I'm going to stir this up a little bit, and if you feel you need to add more of the oil, whether it be coconut oil or whatever oil you might be using, you may be using vegetable canola or ghee or even olive oil. So we're going to let this cook for a little bit. While that is cooking, I've already sliced the zucchini. I am going to simply take the Thai pepper. Once again, this is really optional. I'm just going to slice it into lengthways. So I'm doing this simply because I like the heat, and it's got nothing to do with anything else other than the heat. And some, certainly the Thai pepper does have its own flavor, but the classic curry powder has all the flavor. There, we have that done. We'll give this a little stir. And now I am going to add some of the curry powder. See, I'm going to use a teaspoon right here. As you know, this is a teaspoon, but I'm not measuring it. I'm not using it to measure, rather. So a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to give this a stir, and now you can enjoy the aroma, because the curry powder is actually being cooked in the coconut oil. If you find that you need more oil, feel free, especially if you're using ghee or coconut oil. It comes up to speed, it comes up to heat very quickly. So you're not actually soaking whatever you're making in the oil, which would be the case with, I believe, most other oils, vegetables, canola, etc. That looks fantastic. And that's like a couple of minutes. Now I'm going to add the zucchini. I'm going to put this chilies aside for a moment. There we are. I'm going to stir this a little bit, just a tad. Now this particular curry powder has salt in it, as opposed to the Jamaican jerk and the Italian, which I'll be sharing with you, the recipe at least. It doesn't have salt either. So I feel like I need a little bit more coconut oil, so I'm going to put a little bit more in there. And I'm going to actually reduce the heat to kind of medium low. And you stir this until the zucchini is well coated. Now to this I'm going to add a little ground pepper. There we are. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna, it's up to you. You can put a lid on it or you can let it cook like this. To speed up the process, I'm gonna put a lid on it, increase the heat a little bit. And then the final two steps, we're gonna add the Thai pepper, if you're gonna use it, and some sliced tomatoes. Now I'm going to add the peppers. Actually, you can see it's not really too much. It's not going to be overwhelming if you want to use a couple of these things. But really, I guess it depends on your palate. And I'm going to add the tomatoes. That's like one medium tomato. I think I used 3 good-sized zucchini, 2 tomatoes, 1 smallish onion. You know, it's not very often that I make vegetable dishes, so this is kind of cool. Because, you know, I prefer meat dishes, or actually sharing the preparation of meat dishes with you. But this is pretty, and I'm enjoying this. I hope you are too. So as you can see, there's somewhat of a gravy being produced, and that is as a result of the tomato breaking down, and of course the zucchini exuding the moisture as a result of the heat. There we go. So what I like to do at this point is, besides making a racket, which I have to, I'm going to see if the zucchini is cooked. And I do that simply by piercing it with a fork, and as you can see, it's just, yeah, it's way done. I'm going to turn the heat off, and then you want to really remove it from the heat, because otherwise it's going to keep cooking. So I'm going to actually remove this from the heat, place this pad here, it's cork, so that I don't scar or burn the cutting board. And now I'm going to test for flavor. So it's still a little al dente. It's got a certain kick to it. The flavor's great. And I possibly may add a little bit of sauce. Did I say sauce? I meant salt. So I'm going to sprinkle some salt here, just a tad. Sea salt. We'll stir it. Actually, this is quite, it's got a kick to it. So there you have it. This is the stir-fried zucchini. It's actually sauteed zucchini using the classic curry powder. And you'll find all the ingredients for the curry powder when you go to the product site at thespicygourmet.com. I'm so happy to share this with you. Thanks again.